You have already seen the purpose and the implementation of function call using Python. As you might have realized that it's a little complicated because it is very much syntax heavy and there are too many components involved. It's not only that the tools parameter has to be used, there are other things also. So before getting into the coding, let us define a template. And the purpose of this template is to define a boilerplate code or define the steps of the Python program that you are going to write. All the hands-on that I do using function call will follow the same template. Whatever template I'm defining here, the same template would be followed in all the function calls, the ones that I show you and also the exercise that I'm going to give you. You'll not find this template anywhere. The reason I am providing this template because it will make things easier, considering that the function call is a little heavy duty compared to the other API calls or other coding exercises or hands-on that you have done so far. The template and the steps that I'm telling you, these are for Python. For other programming language, it might be a little different, but the template would be more or less similar. As you already know, the purpose of a function call is to use Python functions to make calls to external systems to get the data and feed that data to the GenAI model so that the model can respond with that output. It can be a database call, it can be a file server call, it can be another API call also. Using function, we are going to call the systems which are outside of the scope of the GenAI servers. One of the biggest example is the database call that I had shown you earlier. Now, when you write or create a GenAI application that will use function call, we'll have to define different Python functions for different purposes. When you are writing the program, that's what you have to do. We'll have to write the program or define the function beforehand. So this is the first function, let's say, which takes just one parameter as input, does its work, and then return maybe a JSON output. Similarly, we can define another function which can take multiple parameters, does its stuff with all the logic and returns maybe a JSON data. The reason I'm talking about JSON data because that is easier to understand and that is easier to ingest into the GenAI model also. Similarly, we'll be defining multiple functions. So this is the first thing that we are going to do when we write our Python code that we'll use for the GenAI models. So let's say these are the only three functions that I'm defining. Of course, the number of functions can be way more than only three. Let's say the first function would make a call to fetch customer details from a database. The second function might fetch some other detail from some other database. Third function might make a call to a file server or a third-party API to get some data. So we'll define the functions, and the definition of Python functions will not change. There is no syntactical change or logical change in the functions that we are going to define in Python. It would remain the same, just like any other Python program. After that, we'll have to define the main function, which we do using this if dunder name dunder equal to main conditional check. Now using this, we define our Python main function. Now inside of this, the first thing that we have to do is make a conversations API call. The reason we want to make this call, as I had shown you in the previous slide, is to make sure that all the prompts, all the input text and their corresponding response belong to the same conversation. That's what a single application would do. So that's why you are using this conversations API to create a storage in OpenAI. And the ID of that storage would be stored in the variable conv.id. After that, we'll have to define the instructions, which is the system message. And the instructions should be very much crisp and elaborated message because the large language model will look at the instruction to perform the function call or various operations. Now remember, we are dealing with large language model. That's why the language has to be very crisp and as much elaborated and as much explained as possible, just like you'd explain maybe a different coder. So this is the second step. Now after that, we'll have to define the tools, and tools should be an array or a list parameter inside of which you can have multiple elements. Now each element would correspond to one function. Now here I'll be showing you only one tool definition which would correspond to only one function name. In this case it is function 2, but here if you define, let's say, 3 functions, there should be 3 elements which would define the function to the large language model. That is the purpose of this variable. Now here the type should be function, the name should be the name of the function, and then the description, which is very important one, and this is a text description. And you have to provide the text description really well, otherwise the large language model will get confused whether to call this function or not. Also, in which situation the large language model will call this function. So the description has to be very crisp, which should contain the input parameters, what input parameters it would take, what output it would generate, etc. And then we have the parameters. In parameters, we provide the input arguments to the functions, and then we'll have to mention strict to be true. And the purpose of this strict variable or this strict option is to instruct the large language model so that the argument is sent as per the function definition. So here the name, which is the name of the function, should be the name that we provide in the Python function. So whatever value you have after the def keyword, that should be the name here. And then the arguments or the values in the properties should be the parameter for that function. If we have one parameter, then there should be only one argument. If you have multiple parameters, we'll have to provide multiple variables, or we'll have to define the multiple variables. So this is the next step. After using the conversations API and defining the instruction message, we use the tools variable to define the functions that are there in the code. Now, one important thing to consider is that if you do not mention any function name here, then that would not be considered by the large language model, whichever model we use. What do I mean by that? Let's say I define 2 elements here and I provide the name function 1 and function 2, which means I have not provided the name or I have not defined any elements for the function 3. So in that case, the large language model is not going to consider that function for the execution. So if you want the large language model to consider the function for execution, I'll have to define the function to the large language model using this tools variable. Once this is done, the next step is to get the prompt of the user. It would typically be another Python function because we want to run it in a loop. So this is how we would define it. I'm just naming it as get prompt. You can name it anything and pass multiple parameters. The parameters would be the conversation ID, the tools variable, and the instruction message. Now the conversation ID will not be conv, it will be conv.id. I'll show you that in the code anyway. So all these parameters would be passed as arguments to the function. So this is the next step. Once this is done, then we'll be using the responses API to get the input prompt or the input text from the user. And here the model can be anything. I'm using GPT 5.4 as the large language model. Then I'm providing the instruction using the instructions parameter, the conversation ID, the tools variable, and the input prompt. Now the tools variable that you see here, this is nothing but the variable that we have defined here. So all the components that are getting used inside of the responses API are defined here. The conversation ID is defined here by using the conversations API. After that, we define the instruction message, which is the developer message or the system message. Instead of the input role, we are using the instructions parameter. And we define it in the main function. And then the tools variable, which is also defined separately in the main function. Now, while calling the get prompt function, we pass all these 3 to the function as arguments, and those 3 are getting used here. The input would be the input prompt from the user. So this is the next step. Now, as you can see, this is also a function or a Python function that we have to define. Now, after this call, after this API, using the output, we can see whether the large language model has decided to use the function call or not. And I'll show you how to do that. The output of the response call would contain 2 important things that we have to consider. One is whether there was a function call or not, if there was a function call, which function is getting called. It will not only contain information about whether the LLM has decided to make a function call or not, it would also contain the name of the function. And based on that, we can actually call these functions. Now, if it is a function call, then we call the function like this, and then we can define another method or another function which will send the tool response to the model. Now here, this method is getting called after the function call is done, meaning that let's say this responses API has called function 1, so the output would be some record. Now this record is the data here, and parameter would contain certain parameters. Now once the function call is made, we'll get the output, and the output would be saved in the data variable along with some other parameters. And then what we are coding in the Python application is to send the response of the function call to the large language model. And then the large language model will send the output to the user. And we use the responses API here again. The parameters would be a little different. The model would be the same. We can use the same model or different model. The instructions would also be the same. Then we'll provide the conversation ID also. But in the input, you see, we provide three parameters. The first one is the type, which is the function call output. Then the call ID, you will get the call ID from the function call and the output data. So these are the three variables or parameters. First is the type, which would be the hard-coded value function underscore call underscore output. Then the call ID, we'll get this call ID from the function call, and then the output variable which will contain the data. This is the data that is returned by the function, and it has been passed to the function here. By providing this, by using this, we are telling the large language model that I have got the output from the function call, and we'll have to use this output to send the response back to the user. So then the large language model will send the output to the user using the results that were sent by the function call. So this is how we integrate function call output with large language models. Here, one of the very important parameter is the output, which is the output of the function call. It can be this output or these two output, any one of these. But essentially, these are the output which are returned by the function call. Now, there can be scenarios that the large language model decides not to use any function call. It is not making any call to any of the functions. That might also happen. Maybe because the user prompt was not clear enough, or the user asked something else altogether. So in that case, if there is no function call, we want to send the response just like any other large language model response. So it will not contain any output of the function call. So we'll define another function for this. So the response would be just like any other response. We have used this earlier also. So this is the template that we are going to use in our hands-on, and this is the template that you should use while making function call or while using the function call in your GenAI application. So let's summarize the steps. What are the different function call steps that are performed? First is that we'll have to define all the necessary functions, and we'll have to test them separately. Why do you have to test them? We want to make sure that the functions return proper output, because if there's an error, then we have to make sure we handle the error. Obviously, this is something that has to be done for all the edge cases, for all the test cases that you have. I'll not perform regressive testing. If you are creating GenAI application for your production environment, definitely you should test it. So this is the first step, that we'll have to define all the necessary functions and test them. For example, database call function, file function, third-party API call function, etc. So all these have to be defined separately. So this is the first step that we do. Once this is done, we define the main function, which is if dunder name dunder equal to main. Inside of this main function, we make a conversation API call just to make sure that all the input text or the request and the responses belong to the same conversation, so that the large language model has context of the entire chat history. Then we define the instruction also, which is pretty important. We have to define the system message using the instruction parameter. Then we call the user prompt function in loop, just like we had done earlier also. Then we'll define a function to retrieve the user prompt. It would be again in a loop till the time the user keeps on asking question or the user terminates it. Inside of this function, we'll have to have some logic. And the logic would be as such that if the model makes function call, then the model has to respond by integrating the function output, because we want the large language model to use the function output to respond to the user. And if the model does not make any function call, then we'll send some text-based model response. So these are the steps and the templates. You should use the same template for all the function call that you use in your GenAI application.